had session 4. We were doing the icebreakers as a group. So everyone, there were 4 groups and we had 4 different icebreakers. We did as a group, it was myself, Joe, Lisa and Matthew, a icebreaker that was made by Joe mostly, called Jet Set. So basically this is the brief for it. It's probably completely the wrong way round. Doesn't matter, we can I'll pop that up on the screen in that point. So we split the group into 2, so we had one side of the room and the other side of the room, and each of those teams had to nominate 2 landing crew, where they had the boxes, and they well, one person directed the person with the box who was turned around facing the wall, so they couldn't see what was going on, so the person that was holding the box was dependent on the other one's instructions. And then there was the pilot who flew the paper aeroplanes, and hopefully they would land in the box. Now it was quite interesting because I suppose we didn't give very clear instructions at the time, so it became a free-for-all, and there were paper aeroplanes everywhere, as you'll see in this picture here. Yeah, it was quite a mess, really. So in all, it was a good icebreaker made by Joe. I could see it using it for my own learners. It really was kind of a instruction-based, problem-solving kind of icebreaker task, which would be good as a re-energizer anyway for a group. A bit of fun, you know, paper aeroplanes, I mean, who wouldn't want to throw them around? Everybody wants to do that. So it was really good, and it tested communication, obviously, another soft skill that is the buzzword. And yeah, effective communication, breaking the rules as well. They weren't allowed to go over a line, so keeping to rules. So it was all kind of soft skills, again, team players, delegating tasks. So in all, that was quite a good one. That was the Jet Set that we did. So after I explained our task, the first icebreaker that was presented to us was by Ben, Emma and Kat. It was an interesting one where they'd placed different job role domino kind of things in a series of balloons. We had to pop them as a group, and then we put them together. I don't think it was more job description, it was more things about employability, and we had to make a domino kind of thing with them. And then at the end there was a bit of a review and recap review, checking the answers. It was quite an interesting one, and the balloons made it a bit more creative. I don't think I'd use that with my learners for that, to show them the employability like that, but maybe you could make it different by putting other things in, maybe jigsaw puzzles, make it a bit more fun, pop the balloons, and get your jigsaw puzzle made up. I know that obviously with that kind of task you need to check if your learners who are afraid of balloons. I think there may have been a few people in our group that were a little bit unsure about balloons, from the bubble couch from last time. But all in all, everybody joined in. It was quite a good task. It was creative, kept to the 10 minutes that we all had, and it was quite good to show, I suppose, facts about employability. Yeah, so that was that one really. That was quite good. And then it moved on to our one, which I've just explained, which was the Jet Set. And then before we did the other icebreakers, we did a task about being assertive, aggressive, or I've forgotten what the third one is. But we were basically tested about being these different roles. So it was me, Joe and Ben that went off with a set of things that we needed to do, and I had to be at first an assertive person whose class was meant to be in that room, and I needed to see if I'd either become assertive or turn into an aggressive kind of way, and I think I dealt with it very well. I think I was very persuasive and kept to being assertive rather than aggressive. And then the next one was kind of, it was a bit of a difficult one, the next one. The next one I didn't understand too well. Basically the scenario reads, you were asked to attend a training session 2 weeks ago and needed to ask a colleague to cover for you, which they did. You feel as it was training for work purposes, you shouldn't need to pay back the time. So I imagine that it was me that was doing the training course and they covered for me, and that they were asking me to cover for them. But again, I didn't quite, still at that time I still didn't understand what that was, and I still don't understand it now. So I'm not sure how I responded, if I responded appropriately to that or not. I think it was quite a quick role play actually, because me and Ben didn't quite understand how to go through with it. But we did that. It was a quick little task in between our icebreaker, and then we moved on to the third icebreaker. Now the third icebreaker that came up was the stepping stones, and this was quite a good one. We were basically given the whole, you had 2 pieces of paper and you needed to get 3 of your team across. So it was the whole rabbit with the fox with the rabbit and lettuce kind of scenario. So we had to go in our teams and come up with a way of getting across this forbidden lava kind of thing that there was, as a group, and the first group that got across won. So that one was problem solving, and I came up with the best solving to that, and that was to have one of the pieces of paper and hop along, not needing 2 bits for my other foot. So I managed to come up with that, and everyone was they were quite amazed that someone had come up with a problem to it like that. So that in itself, you know, that's looking at problem solving, which I managed to do, which was quite good. So ultimately problem solving, there was communication, bit of delegation about who would go across, a bit of discussion about how to sort it out so everybody got across. So that was a good one, and I believe that that one was the winner overall. The actual brief for it is very detailed. It's got the aim, the objective, so it's obviously that it's been used maybe before, but it's had a bit of a twist done to it. There was a bit of a Q&A at the end about kind of what kind of employment skills were based in that kind of game. Now that was done by Alex, Kelly and Sam. I don't think I said that at the beginning. And as I said, it was the winner. It was, I thought, the most creative. And one of the criticisms I wrote down of what it could be improved on, it was a bit difficult to come up with one, but maybe a handout of the brief so then we could look, or maybe a handout of some sort, I don't know, just to give an idea to everyone. But that one, it was really enjoyable, that one. It deserved to win and it was really good. So the last one, number 4, was done by Marion, Adam and Hayley. Now Hayley wasn't there for the day, so to begin with they had to adapt to Hayley not being there, which they did very well. The icebreaker was called Employability Hot Potato. So they basically had in the bowl a ball, just some paper, and we were in a circle and the ball was thrown at us and we had to come up with the name of a job that began with that letter. So A would be artist, G would be golfer, gangster, I don't know. So it went around, it was good fun. There were penalties for whoever got it wrong. They had to sit out, or I think it was sit on the floor, and not join in for 2 goes. but that was quite a good one. It was again quite creative. It was quite an interesting one, and Marion and all that must have come up with quite, it must have been quite good to come up with something that creative. It was a very simple idea as well, throwing it around A, B, C, and it was good communication between people. It was talking, it was laughing, everybody was getting involved. So in all, it was quite a good icebreaker, breaking the ice, as it were. The room wasn't on their side really for this, because we were 10, maybe 12 of us. So it was trying to fit everyone in that gap. So it wasn't their fault, but unfortunately the room arrangement wasn't great. And I suppose we could have done it with a handout, but again, that's just being a bit picky. But all in all, the icebreakers were really good. And icebreakers, from gathering from all that, icebreakers appeared that they could be used for re-energizers in groups. Could also be used in induction weeks. Introducing a new unit is quite good, and it's quite an interesting task. We were given it 2 weeks before we had to do it. We had to communicate with each other to create one. I don't think I was very good at communicating with other people in my group, but we got through it. I helped as much as I could, but we got together and it was really good. So again, making an icebreaker was quite a good skill of ours. And it's a good way of developing new soft skills. And I do like the idea of it as being a re-energizer, halfway through a session, people don't appear to be enjoying it. Oh, I know, let's whack out this icebreaker. Everybody gets involved, everybody's a bit better and feel a bit more energised to go and do other bits of work. As well as the icebreakers, we were given back our driver questionnaires as well. Those were the questionnaires we filled out in the second week, where we didn't know what was going on. We were given the results, and it appears to be that this whole system of the driver questionnaire appears to put people in different categories. I've got the results here, and they were put into 5 different categories. You had be strong, be perfect, try hard, hurry up, please others. I suppose you could use that as the questionnaire as a tool to find out where people are. The characteristics of a be strong person is that they keep their emotions to themselves and kind of close the world out and keep quiet if they're under pressure. And a please others is, as it says, being nice to others, maybe not being as overcritical. That's where I came out stronger. I came out stronger on the please others, and my secondary driver was be strong, which was quite interesting really. And the other class members, they were mostly on the be perfect as their secondary driver, where Bruce said that that's where most teachers are at. They're at that kind of level that teachers are be perfect. Going back to the questionnaire and its theory behind it, I think that it's quite a good tool to find out more about your learners. It's quite a complex, looking thing. So for my particular learners, it wouldn't be any good, but for further education, it's quite a good tool to find out where people are, even for normal employers to find out how they would fit into a team, the dynamics of the team, building a stronger team. You can't, according to the questionnaire, people that are on please others aren't good leaders. So it can kind of put people, you can construct a team of people that have got different levels, different bits of those 5 bits, and build a really strong team. So it was quite an interesting bit of, kit, the driver questionnaire. So it was quite interesting to find out my results for myself. In the portfolio, where whoever's marking this or if the portfolio is shown, I highlighted bits that were quite, apparent to me, that definitely were me on the please others, which was my main driver. A few bits like the messages I received as a child: don't be difficult. I was quite a difficult child, but that was kind of, not beaten out of me, but it's kind of challenged, and put others first. I mean, I'm a very put persons first kind of person, really. I always think of others rather than myself. I'd much rather jump in front of a bus than a young child do it. So there was that, and the characteristics: sensitive, warm, reluctant to challenge is definitely one of mine. Sometimes I find it very difficult. I get a feeling when I try and challenge people. And stresses that can be caused by it. And it's on these driver pages you'll see in the portfolio. The stress is caused by being ignored. If I'm ignored, then I feel a little bit anxious about it. And rejection, so just being thrown to one side, that's kind of a bit difficult for me. So really it was a bit of an eye-opener. And on my secondary driver, I actually highlighted quite a lot of that on the Be Strong, which I was. Kind of messages I received as a kid: don't give up, don't ask for help. I definitely have those. I'm someone that's reliable, which is true. I'm dependable. Endures pain, so I won't say, oh god, I feel really ill, whereas some people, lounge on a sofa going, oh, I'm so poorly. I kind of just endure it and carry on. I'm very self-critical of myself, that's true. I look at a piece of work I do and I'm a bit like, oh, that's terrible. I'm helpful, and I've got this kind of life goes on approach, a bit laid back. And the stresses that can hold me back, stress caused by withholding feeling of being forced to show real feelings. I'm not the kind of person that would show that easily. Very kind of closed person. So really the questionnaire was a real eye-opener. And next week we're looking again at doing a few tests. We haven't been told really what we're doing, but just watch this space and I'll record it. Thank you. Bye.